like to present Not Seen Before.
I think you want everybody to smoke weed.
Hey, this is Royce Gracie, and you're listening to the Inside BJJ podcast.
It was a shroom trip. That's racist.
I'm not a racist.
That's racist.
I'm not a racist.
This is Kurt Oceaner. This is Inside BJJ podcast.
God damn it!
Jiu-Jitsu sucks.
God damn it!
I think you want everybody to smoke weed.
Wow, Mr. Sarcasm.
This is Nonchalant Andre, and you're listening to the Inside BJJ podcast.
What is up, everybody? Welcome to Inside BJJ, the world infamous Inside BJJ podcast. Thank you for listening. I want to remind you, if you enjoy the program or if you hate it, even better for me because I love it when you hate it and you leave me bad reviews. Go to iTunes, make sure you leave a nasty comment and a nasty remark, and I'll make sure I read it on the show. Or if you like what we're doing, you could say something nice. I won't read it. I won't read it on the show, but I'll read it in real life. Hey, I want to jump to our guest right out of the gate today. He is a buddy of mine through the jiu-jitsu world. I've seen him quite a few times over the years. Him and his. I joke around about jiu-jitsu partridge families, but I really think the Rice Brothers are the actual partridge families of jiu-jitsu. You guys are dope, man. You guys are awesome. So I'd like to welcome the one and only Tanner Rice to the Inside BJJ podcast. What's going on, my brother?
Nothing much, man. Just almost to the gym, just doing a regular day, pissing everybody off.
So I think, we may as well just jump right to it. We're not going to avoid the elephant in the room on this one. You just talked about pissing everybody off. Obviously, you're referring to the fact that you have opened up your gym during this time where, lots of businesses are closed. People are freaked out. Talk to me about that, man. Talk to me about the thought process behind it and, kind of how are you feeling right now?
Well, we're open as like a normal schedule right now. The reason why we did it was, to be perfectly honest, our overhead's like pretty big here, especially for Reading. It's a smaller town, and so our overhead's pretty big, and the landlord's raising the rent next month.
Oh, right? What a nice guy!
Yeah, so you can only imagine the name calling that we've been giving him. So he's raising the rent next month, and so it was like we decided to open because honestly I kind of think this whole thing is blown out of proportion, but I don't want to really get into numbers and all that bullshit. But in Shasta County we've had almost no cases, right? So I think I was going to lose my ass if I have to wait for Governor Newsom's, restrictions anyway. So paying rent for 6-7 odd months until he thinks that we can open. So I decided just to go for it anyway.
It's a difficult decision, and I'm definitely, I feel your pain. I'm in the same, predicament as a gym owner, not able to run classes, not able to, really have a full program. I get it. And there's people that will support you, but there's lots of people that won't. And I don't blame them either. There's people that aren't working and they're not getting paid as well. And it's tricky because landlords want their money. And so here you are, you're faced with this decision. Like you're either going to let this bleed slow and die, or you're going to make a move. And it sounds like you made a move.
Yeah. So, I decided that if I'm going to lose my ass, I'm going to stand up for what I believe in. And, my brother was all for it too. So we decided, if we're going to lose our ass, then we're going to we're going to go out with a bang at least, right? So.
Tell me, how were you feeling, back in March when the word started kind of getting out there like, hey, there could be some shutdowns, there could be some quarantines. We were taking it day by day. Like, hey, there's class tomorrow. As far as we know, there's class tomorrow, and we're going to keep going until we can't go. What was what was your thought process like then? Like, how were you feeling about it then? Were you concerned about a shutdown, or did you think it wouldn't happen?
I thought it wouldn't happen, man. I thought it was just all propaganda, to be perfectly honest with you. And, and who honestly saw this coming, right? Like,
Sure, right.
you know what I mean? Like, I never thought ever that my gym would be forced to lock down, for a virus going around the world. But anyway, like, we decided, like, we were going to open. We have gotten some heat. We had Record Searchlight come out, do, like, a small write-up, and then it blew up. And, we have, like, the chief of police called me, and he was super polite, to be perfectly honest with you. He was really polite, really nice. His guys train here, some of them. And, it was a little eerie this morning at 6 a.m. because they all train at 6 a.m. They all are early birds. They get up. And they were all told not to come in. So there was no coffee this morning.
Ah, geez.
And generally it has, like, at least 5 or 6. So they're on, and they all pay their dues to normal. They said, "Hey, we support you," right? But the chief police was like, "Listen, man, like, I didn't care that you were open before this whole thing, but then now you're headline news and you're kind of backing me into a corner." And I was like, I told him, I'm like, "Dude, I didn't mean for it to happen. Honestly, I just opened up and kind of posted on social media a little bit, and it blew up." And he's like, "I understand. Totally, I get it, but you would do me a huge solid if you locked down, right? Or if you shut down." I was like, "Dude, I'm in this, already pretty deep, and we're probably not going to." But he was like, "Why don't we wait for Governor Newsom's, like, his agenda for opening up California?" And obviously, it wasn't in our favor, and so we just decided to stay open.
Yeah. So, I mean, damn, the problem that I have with Governor Newsom's agenda is it sucks. There's no agenda.
No, it's terrible.
It's chicken shit. It's like we have a very well formulated plan. Well, what is it? It's there. It's a good plan, though. It's like, come on, man. I need more than that because I got bills to pay, bitch. That rent's due. And man, I feel you. It's interesting because Shasta County really hasn't been hit too. Honestly, California hasn't been hit hardly at all in comparison. And I tell people, like, I'm not trying to make light of the situation. Obviously, people are affected by it. I feel for that. I don't want anyone to get sick. Just like I don't want anything to happen to I don't want anyone to go bankrupt either, or lose their jobs, or be destitute. Or in your case, I mean, dude, I remember going to tournaments like the U.S. Open in Santa Cruz 10 years ago, man, and you guys were a lot younger. Like, I from a distance, I felt like I watched you guys kind of grow up. I'm like, damn, especially your brother, like Matt. I'm like, God damn, I don't want to fight against that kid.
No, he's a big kid now. He's pushing some weight around now.
But you know what I mean? Like, you guys have put serious time into this. It's not like you're just some dude who's, like, fuck the government. I'm staying open. You don't want to lose this shit you've been working on your whole life, essentially.
Yeah. For sure. Yeah, that was super frustrating for us. And we had just moved buildings almost 2 years ago now to this location. And it's blown up for us since then. Like, we've been doing really well. And we're finally, like, over this hump, like, oh, shit, we're making money. I don't have to do all these, like, private lessons on the side. Neither does he.
Yeah.
And then this shit hit. And it was like, okay. And that's a lot of people's stories, right? So it was frustrating, obviously. But we've gotten so many, like, our members have, came closer together and kind of helped us out a little bit. But, there is going to be some heat probably in the next, the chief police warned me, he's like, you're going to get cited in like 1 to 3 days. And I said, okay, well then what? And he's like, well, if you don't comply, then we're going to have to, or he said, it's up to us to enforce it. This is his exact words. And I told him, like, okay, well, we'll pay our fine, right?
Yeah. And
we're going to stay open. So
hang on. Yeah. I got to go shut the door, man. Some dude's with a weed eater in the backyard. I can't believe it.
No.
One second.
No problem.
I'll be right back. All right, what a show. That's how you know the production quality is taking place in my house.
Yeah.
Turn the goddamn weed eater off. What are you doing, Walter? Yeah, no, it's it's a hard decision to make. How are you dealing with the criticism, or have you received the criticism that you're endangering people's lives? Like, hey man, you're gonna make somebody die because of this.
Yeah. That was the only thing that actually pissed me off. I can deal with like people talking shit or whatever. I don't care. But like that was the only thing. We've always kind of been the kind of people like to try to help like people financially. And, they said like, oh, Tanner doesn't care about killing people as long as he like fills his own pockets. I'm like, what in the world?
Yeah.
I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. Like, I'm not forcing these people to walk into my gym. I open my doors and they're walking in, right?
Yeah.
And, and obviously they're not too worried about it either. We're all staying clean. We're cleaning the mats like crazy. You know what I mean? So, like, with the criticism, dude, honestly, it's been mostly positive.
Yeah.
From everyone. Everyone has been like super supportive, and they think that we're doing the right thing. So, and more people, like I've gotten people from everywhere really saying, hey, we're going to follow your lead. We're going to open up. So I was like, okay, this is great.
I actually am starting to feel that vibe from a lot of people that I know in the jiu-jitsu world. I'm sure you know tons of people in the jiu-jitsu world, lots of gym owners, lots of instructors. I'm getting the same vibe from lots of people in California as well. I have a serious beef with the people that go, he's choosing, to line his own pockets over the general community's wealth. And it's like, dude, first of all, if you're listening and you don't know where Reading is not Manhattan, motherfucker. Like, Reading's not where you go to make it big.
Yeah.
Reading's where you go when you grow up in Red Bluff. You're like, I'm moving to the city. I'm going to Reading. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like, come on, man. You're not, you're making a living, but it's not like you're driving a Rolls Royce off your jiu-jitsu cash. You're trying to eat and feed your family and stay alive.
Well, it is.
It's a very frustrating thing.
Man.
Yeah,
it's extremely frustrating. But people will say that shit and they don't actually know you. You know what I mean? They're just trying to. Those are the people that were on freaking welfare anyway. They were sitting at their home just eating fucking Doritos off of the taxpayers' money. So those are the people commenting.
Yeah.
And that, like, there was only a couple that actually kind of pissed me off, and it was just because, like, oh, he doesn't care about the commonwealth of people. I'm like, oh, cool, all right, whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel you. When at the same time, I'm sure you've done tons of nice things for people in your own community, and you don't go make a video about it and put it on Facebook and brag it up on Reddit. It's like you do it because you want to do it, and that's the end of it. Which people don't have the insight into.
Yeah, which is most jiu-jitsu instructors, right? They all do the same thing for people, right? So, I'm sure you've helped plenty of people yourself, and that's a part of it, right? Like, not a lot of people have the money, especially in Reading or Red Bluff, to pay, to pay $150 a month for, jiu-jitsu. They don't. So, we have to figure something out.
Yeah. So, man, we're talking fines. Do you have any idea what type of citations we're talking about? Are we talking about, like, we're talking about jail? We just talking about citation? Like, what the fuck?
If it gets to that point, right? Like, for some reason, all the cops backed out this morning, and they've all been supportive. I'm not trying to throw anybody under the bus.
No, for
They're
sure.
super supportive, but they don't want to lose their job either, right?
Yeah.
So, like, which is totally fine. But like, so we've been. Let me get my brother's knee. This is a big ass right there. Look at that, handsome.
Jesus, that's a big dude right there. Dude, what are you guys eating, man? What the hell, dude?
Grass-fed beef, bro.
I swear, man. You guys are going to need 2 buses to fit all your asses into now.
Yeah. So, I forgot what I was saying, but yeah, the cop, I think he just said cited in 1 to 3 days. He said that yesterday afternoon. We haven't seen anything yet. As far as that goes, I've heard from multiple other, schools that he got fined $1,000 off the start. So we're kind of expecting that.
Yeah.
And first, I guess they give you a warning. So we're just going to ride this out. And then if it gets to the point to where they come in and arrest me, then that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But then, like, we've already got a good lawyer, and if shit hits the fan, we're going to take it to the very freaking end. So, we're not, we're not going to hold back at all. We're being polite as possible, right? Like we're not trying to obviously, be dicks about the whole situation, but people need to understand. And there's been like a couple CrossFit gyms in our city to open back up because we opened up, and it was really, so I think it's going to get so. Reading's already small, right? But we are all in close contact, so I think everybody's going to eventually follow our lead, and hopefully nothing happens, but I doubt it.
It's an unfortunate place when someone, I don't know your history in life, but I know that you mostly do jiu-jitsu, and when you're in jiu-jitsu and you're at a level that you're doing jiu-jitsu pretty much all the time, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the last thing you're trying to do is have a run-in with the police, or like you say, you have cops that train in your gym. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I get it. I have cops they train in my gym. I teach their kids. The last thing you're trying to do is get arrested, make some big giant statement, do all this stupid shit. But at the same time, you're like, dude, I'm in Reading. And nobody's dropping dead. The numbers are flat, and they've been flat. Let's just be real.
Mm-hmm.
And there's no reason why we can't open back up. Maybe not the whole country at the same time, but come on.
Course.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Of course, I totally agree. But like they said yesterday that the head of the health department for Shasta County is following Newsom's rules to the T. I'm like, so I'm like, you guys, all right, well, I guess this is going to go to the very bitter end because we're going to, get some shit, obviously. So
nobody wants to be responsible. It's much easier for a county health administrator to go like, I'm just going to do what the governor says. I'm not going to make any decisions myself. And we see it right now in Fresno, right? We see these doctors come out, some councilmen, some people are starting to talk, and there's tons of backlash. There's an echo chamber full of people who, for whatever reason, are highly concerned about, well, I shouldn't say whatever reason. They have legitimate concern, and that's okay. And if you are concerned, don't come. Like, it's not like you're going, hey, I'm not going to give you your blue belt unless you train during quarantine. Like, you're not doing that. You want a stripe? You want your purple? You got to get fucking during lockdown, bitch. It's not like that, man. It's like,
no.
He's just trying to stay open, man. It's
that's it. All we want to do is cover bills, man. We can cover bills. Care less.
Are you concerned about maybe, because this is what I've noticed is some people have chosen sides, and people that I considered acquaintances and friends now have kind of like, maybe they don't want to be friends with me anymore because I have a separate opinion or a different opinion, which kind of breaks my heart. It's ridiculous, but are you experiencing any of that yourself?
Of course. We had two families, one adult. When we decided we were going to open, two families literally just like sent us like this huge paragraph of like what we're doing wrong, and like, you guys are just so greedy, and we'll never recommend anyone or go back to your gym again. I'm like, okay, that's fine. Like, out of the 110 students that we have, you guys are the only ones to complain. That's fine, right? Yeah. And they, honestly, like, we didn't even respond to the message. We're just like, all right, that's their deal. And they thought that we were doing something super terrible, and not right, morally incorrect is what they said. So I'm like, okay, well, send it.
Yeah, yeah. What are you gonna do, right? Well, I mean, ultimately,
yeah. The first day, what the chief police officer told me? He told me first day we opened. Like, we didn't even really put on social media. We said we might open on Monday. Who's gonna hate us? So my first post, like that, I didn't even make the decision. So we opened Monday. Very first day, he said we got calls about you guys opening and playing. I'm like, wow. Oh my god! Like,
yeah.
And this is it's Shasta County. Like, it's a pretty high number of like Republicans in this like.
Yeah, it's
city,
it's fairly
right?
conservative area. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm like, but of course you've got those people, but they got super heated and called us in.
Yeah. I mean, I understand the fear that people experience, especially in the beginning when there was a lot of uncertainty about like, dude, this is spreading, what's going to happen. I get that, but I also think you have to have a balance of the fact that, this country's so damn great because of our ability to have personal freedoms and exercise those freedoms without a tyrannical government kind of sitting over you, trying to pull the strings on everything you do. And unfortunately, most people are not even thinking about that. They don't even care about that. There's no concern about it. And so the decision to lock down, that's one thing, but then like, who gets to tell you when to open up again, and how long does that happen? Like, we're on day 45 of a 14-day quarantine. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And people are talking about, you're selfish and you're this, and I feel like, well, I have skin in the game. My business has been closed. We're going on 2 months, motherfucker. Like, what have you done? You put a mask on and took an Instagram selfie? Like, suck it. You know what I mean? Like, dude, I don't want to hear that shit.
Nope. Yeah, I totally agree with you, man. And it is frustrating because like we stay clean, right? Like jiu-jitsu gyms have always like put that on blast, just stay clean. And but you go to like a grocery store, and I'm telling you, dude, we have like one Walmart in Reading, right? So, and that shit is wild.
Yeah.
So we went there because we were going to try to change our couches to something easier to clean, So me and my brother in there, we're getting like mean mugs because like we don't have our masks on, we're in there walking around, right? And but it's incredible because people think like that's okay to go to the grocery store. I'm not going to get it at the grocery store. I'm like, guys, you guys are all touching the same shit.
Yeah.
And then the workers touch that same shit.
Yeah.
Right? And they don't clean it. They don't have anybody go around cleaning it. It's just ridiculous. Like
there's a false sense of hygiene and safety right now. And my wife and I, we see it all the time. And one of the things that I ask myself is, if it is as bad as it is as people are saying, especially in our areas, like San Joaquin County, there's about 550 cases, and there's 760,000 people. It's like 0.1%. That's how tiny it is. And I'm going, okay.
Yeah.
Then how come all the essential workers, like the grocery store clerks and the restaurant workers and all these people that are out there, they're still working, they're not getting it? It's not. They're out there they're in the grocery store. They're in the hub of the city. Home Depot and Target are the hub of the city.
Home Depot's fucking nuts.
That's where we go on dates. We don't have anything to do. We're like, hey, honey, you want to get dressed up and go hang out at Lowe's? Like, fuck it, let's go. I'm not kidding you, dude. Like, I ironed my shirt. I was like, fuck it, we're going out, baby. I'll take you to Lowe's, bitch.
Oh my God.
I'm serious, though. It's like nobody's getting it. Like, I'm not saying that nobody across the country is, but not here. Like, I feel like the efforts, whatever had to happen to flatten the curve, it's flat. Like, let's start taking into consideration business owners. And I don't know if you've applied for like the PPP and the SBA.
Of course we did. We're not.
Dude, it's chicken shit, right? It's chicken shit.
Joke.
Nobody got it. Well,
Yeah.
Hold on. I got $1,000. I did get $1,000. They said this is what you qualify for based on your circumstance, and I'm grateful that I got $1,000. But I'm like, dude, that doesn't pay. That doesn't pay the rent.
That doesn't pay a fucking third of my rent.
You know where it went? I paid my payroll taxes with it. I'm like, well, I owe the government $1,200 for payroll taxes, so I just fucking sent it because I don't want to owe them money. I'd rather owe my landlord than the IRS. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not fucking with the IRS.
No, hell.
Yeah, it's
a frustrating thing, man, and people are just like, it is fear of like what media is posting, and it's nothing ever positive. There's nothing ever fucking right. So it sucks, and then you get, and everybody on social media is a fucking doctor now, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, all right, well, we're doing our thing because that's our choice as a constitutional right, and we're going to continue doing that until like I said, till the fucking end. So I just hope the cops don't see this podcast because it's fucking terrible. Well, we've gotten tons of support, literally tons of it. I mean, like Gary Tonin got a hold of me. I was like, "Hey, you want me to send you money?" I'm like, "No." Like,
wow,
dude.
right?
Like, I'm like, "No, I'm good, thank you, I appreciate it, but I think we'll be okay." We had tons of people like in the community try to Venmo us money. I was like, "No, we're all right."
Wait a minute, you greedy bastard! You didn't take that money.
I didn't accept it. I didn't accept it. But.
Yeah, I mean, we had Gary Tonin on the show about 3 weeks ago, and I just, dude, I don't know, man. I get I get offended on your guys' behalf. Like when I see people talk shit about this, I'm like, you guys have no fucking idea what these gym owners are going through. Like everyone's out there talking shit and making all these assumptions. And it bothers me in the jiu-jitsu world that there's not more support in the sense where some bigger names who could come out could go like, hey man, it's tough to be in this situation. I respect those decisions. But instead they're like, no, and they build up this like Reddit jiu-jitsu shame. You know what I mean? It's so bad. I'm like, I can't even go on
it.
The
Reddit master.
Oh, dude.
Like, I'm not even on Reddit, but like I have some black belts under me.
Yeah.
Just tell them Keenan's on Reddit again. Just fuck it.
Dude.
Everybody on Reddit loves Keenan.
Keenan, I'm telling you what, Keenan is a high-level troll. Keenan is a troll.
Oh, yeah.
Keenan is trolling everybody. He's marketing. He's pushing his shit out there. He's trying to stack cheese, man. He's the greedy guy.
So I'm honestly not. I'm sure that everybody knows this already, but I'm just gonna say it. But I'm not good at like arguing online or like I'm just not good at it. You know, I don't have the heart for it. I guess I don't have the mind for it. I don't know. But like Kit Dale got on my first post. Right? It was just like he went to fucking war with these people, like 10 different people, like 100 and something comments. I'm like, oh my god, right? But he posted something that was okay. I'm friends with Kit, regardless of what he thought of my decision. Like I'm still gonna be friends with Kit. I don't give a shit. But like he, obviously he didn't like that we opened. I'm like, Kit, you're probably making more money now than you were before. Yeah. You know, like you've always been doing the same thing. You've always been sitting on your ass making fucking money, right? Yeah. Like that's what you're good at. Congratulations. I'm not good at it though.
Right.
Leave me the fuck alone.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It just.
Well, man, I think that you have a lot more people on your side than what maybe you realize. I think that there is some fear. People have some fear in coming out and just supporting it and going like, hey, we need to start asking questions about this. I'm hoping that more people will see what you did and, feel empowered by it and not be afraid to come out and say like, yeah, this is dude, this is chicken shit, man. Like we need a better plan than this plan of like, we'll see, that doesn't work, man. It just doesn't flat out work. And it would be nice if county officials would, grow a pair and do their job. They are elected officials. They're put in those positions by the general public, and they need to represent their community, not what some slick asshole in a suit who's never really worked in his whole goddamn life. You know what I mean? He's born into completely different circumstances than the rest of the people in the state. It's super frustrating to see that, man.
Yeah, I agree, and I think that honestly, I do think that it's gonna get better, and I think it's getting better fast. I've had a really positive amount of people like that own gyms say that they're gonna open like on the 1st, regardless of what they say. We're opening on the 1st. So this is, so it was great to see people in Australia going, "Fuck it, we're open." Okay, cool. That was awesome. So it wasn't Kid Dale. Yeah, he didn't. He didn't say that.
No, he's in LA. He's not even in Australia. He's like he's taking acting classes somewhere right now.
You watch his movie though? Did you watch his movie on Netflix?
No.
Iron Sky?
No, what's it called?
Iron Sky?
No, I didn't even know he had a movie.
Yeah, he's on there. He fights like what did he fight? He fights like dinosaurs and shit.
Did he put out a video tutorial on how to fight dinosaurs?
Yeah, not yet.
Sign up for my program.
Yeah, the sexual predator one on YouTube is by far my favorite.
I'll have to check that out, man.
Yeah, the sexual predator one, he's beating up a dildo on a wall.
That's so Kit Dale. Well, man, dude, thanks for checking in with us. I want you to know you got our support down in Stockton, man. I've known you guys for a long time. You've been on the show a couple times now. And it's always a good time, dude. I'm really proud of what you're doing. I think it's time for people to take a stand and stop being so afraid of what some perceived consequences are, because you might be surprised how many people are in support of what you're doing. And there's a lot of gym owners that are listening right now, like that want to open up. In fact, I haven't met a gym owner yet that doesn't want to open up, to be honest with you. Like everyone I know.
Come on.
Keenan. He wanted to close though. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's like,
He
I
was
can
the
make
first
more
one to
money
close.
on it.
He was like,
Dude.
Yeah.
Master Lloyd raised him well. Let's just say that, dude. He's on the dark side, motherfucker. They should call him Anakin Cornelius, dude.
Yeah.
Let's get real, dude. He was turned a long time ago, man. I love you, Keenan.
Yeah.
I'm 42. What are you going to do? Beat an old man up? Come on.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You hit a guy with
He'll
glasses.
still beat me up. I still got some time before I can hide in messes.
I mean, he's tough, dude. I'm not taking anything away from his jiu-jitsu. I'm just saying I'm onto his game. That's all.
Yeah.
Come on. That's it.
Yeah, that guy makes up some weird shit that works.
Yeah. No, for sure, right? He's jiu-jitsu needs guys like that, man, for sure. So
Oh, definitely. 100%.
we also need the Rice Brothers, man. So thank you for keeping it strong up there and holding it down,
Yeah,
man. It's
of course.
important. It's important to us.
Yep.
And Reading needs you guys. Come on, man. What are you going to do in Reading without jiu-jitsu?
Exactly.
Nothing.
to do.
Go to Walmart. Fuck
Down
that.
tipping. Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Hey, thanks, brother. I will check in with you in a couple days, man. See how you're doing. Stay strong, man. Hold out there. All right.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you.
Okay. Have a good one. All right. Bye. All right. That was nice. I don't know. I know a lot of people completely disagree with everything I'm saying. And that's okay. I don't have a problem with anyone disagreeing. What I have a problem with is when we're trying to shame and chastise people because of their opinions on some moral or ethical ground that people don't even really have any right to stand on. You know what I mean? That's my big problem. It's one thing when you go, hey, for me, I'm going to stay inside. I'm going to follow these things. I'm going to do this. No problem. I'm not going to talk shit about you. Do it. I don't care. Do it. You should do it if you want to do it. But if I don't want to do it, stay out of my business. This is America, right? America. And we need to be very conscientious of that. We live in times where things change rapidly and they change fast. And once freedom gets taken away, it is extremely hard to get it back. And the price that's paid is usually paid in young men's blood. And that's not being dramatic. That's being honest. And this country has been around. It's a very young country, but it's a very free country. And I don't care, if you hate it, then don't live here. Go live somewhere else. This is a dope country. This is awesome. I love America. I love California. I love freedom. I love the ability to say, you know what? I was a software engineer for 20 years. 20 years. And I used to sit in a cubicle as a blue belt, typing on my little computer, dreaming about someday I might be able to open a jiu-jitsu school. And I'm like, nah, I suck. I can't even do a scissor sweep right. Like, nobody's going to want to learn from me. And I just stayed on it and stayed on it and stayed on it. And one day, because this goddamn country is so amazing, I was able to make that dream come true. And it took a lot of sacrifice. It took a lot of work. It took a lot of resources. It took a lot of money. It took a lot of blood. It took a lot of sweat. It took a lot of tears. It took a lot of fighting. It took a lot of friendship. It took a lot of everything to get to that point. And for someone to take it away without serious justification and serious detailed plans on how it's going to come back, it's not acceptable. It's not acceptable. And most people, I'll tell you what, this is economically driven for a lot of people, because people that aren't touched by this are like, well, my thing's closed, but I got all these other resources or this or that. It's easy then to pontificate and go, well, we need to do this and we need to do that. And this is my part. You could say all that. We should do this and we should do that. The problem is when you go, and if you don't do what I want you to do, then you're a such and such and a this and this and a that and that. You see what I'm saying? Now you start to assassinate people's character based on your opinion of what you think they should be doing. It's sad. Wake up. Use your brain. Pay attention. What I encourage you to do, and this is what I do, I just go outside and I look at the community around me. And I look at my neighbors and I look at my friends and I look at the counties by me, and I start paying attention, and I talk to people that are in the medical field, and I talk to people who who are, trying to, be part of what we're doing, or just, trying to pay attention. And I get a sense of what I should do from that, and I follow that. What I don't do is turn the TV on and watch a bunch of guys and a bunch of political bullshit. And I'm telling you, a lot of this shit now is politically driven. It's politically driven, 100%. People are lining up. They're going like, "What does my favorite politician say about this? I'm gonna side with that. Because if I don't, well, then that means I support this other person, and that's bad. Because Jay-Z was on Instagram and he said he was bad." It's like, dude, this is the cult of celebrity, the cult of Instagram. Everyone's so goddamn stupid and dumb, uninformed opinions and decisions. I saw someone online fucking lying, said they knew 54 people who died from corona. Personally knew 54 people. Personally. I don't even know 54 people personally. It's stupid, man. It's stupid, and it's by design, and they're wolf tickets. You guys are buying and selling wolf tickets by playing into this so deeply. It doesn't mean to not be safe. Look, if you're taking care of someone who's old and someone who's sick, be careful. Self-quarantine, duh, it makes sense. If you're in an area where it's really hot and heavy, be careful. Quarantine. If you want to wear a mask, wear a mask. If you got a compromised immune system. My wife has a compromised immune system. She has an autoimmune disorder. She's had it for a few years now, and it can be really fucking bad. It really can, and we are quite aware of that. But you know what? We looked around, we made our decision, we checked out the community, we talked to people, we read, we looked at numbers. What I didn't do is go on YouTube and listen to one guy say one thing or my favorite people. I looked at everything. I listened to people that seemed to make sense. I listened to people that didn't make sense. I just kind of put it all out there and then made my decision. And that's what I encourage you guys to do. Open up your mind. Don't be so tied down to one way of thinking that you have pinned yourself. You put a stake into the ground, and that stake is driven so deeply, ideology, sorry, I'm choking on my own words, is driven so deeply into your brain that you can't change. You're not willing to change because you've now identified with this way of thinking. I'll tell you what, if it got really bad, it started to look worse, I would change my opinion 100%. But I'm not going to change it right now. Why? Because it's not that bad here. Not in my community, not in my area. It doesn't mean I'm cold and I'm insensitive and I'm a bastard. I feel for people that are in bad positions right now. I feel for people that know people or who have been impacted by this or know people who have been impacted by it. That sucks. That's terrible. I'm sorry. I don't wish this on anybody. But at the same time, I don't think every business in the entire state needs to be closed because of this. There's a lot of businesses that are considered phase 3 that are small businesses, and they will not survive. And whether you believe it or not, you throw in all the government's helping everyone with money. They're not. I don't know anyone who's been helped. Nobody. I don't know anyone. And the people that have gotten help, such as myself, $1,000. I'll tell you, that's what they get. I applied for every single thing as soon as it came available. It was my job. I was on it. And I'm not dumb. I have a college education. I've started 2 different companies. I'm not stupid. I'm a software engineer. I hold certifications in all kinds of shit. I'm well-read. I'm well-versed. Multiple disciplines. I'm not a moron. I act like a moron. I'm not a moron. I'm probably smarter than a lot of you guys are, actually. Maybe. Maybe not. We'll see. All I'm saying is this, is you got to make these decisions for yourself. You got to be smart about it and quit turning on your neighbors. It's fucked up. Y'all turning on your neighbors. That's some Nazi Germany shit right there. You need to think about it, comrade. You need to think about it. Okay, I'm off my soapbox. I'm off of my soapbox. I don't want to be on a soapbox. I don't like being on a soapbox. I don't, but I'm fired up. I don't even want to be fired up. I don't, man. I just want to be a regular dude. I want to teach jiu-jitsu. I want to go back to the life that I built with so much hard work, borderline nervous breakdown to get there. I want to go back to that. That's what I want to do. I don't want to live in fear. Not unless there's a real necessary reason. And as far as I can see, this is not a necessary reason anymore. There's no justification for it other than a political attempt to gain some leverage and to scare the fuck out of people. And if you can't see it, it's obvious. Pay attention. It's out there. Look into it. What else is going on? Let's see. Dude, caught somebody trying to gank a tire off of my Prius. Can you believe it? This is how bad it's gone. This is how bad it's gotten. This is how bad the economy is because it's all shut down now. So now these thieves have come for the Prius. So Saturday night, it's like 3:30 in the morning. By the way, Stockton's hot now. 93 degrees yesterday. This was Saturday night. It was warm on Saturday. And so we opened up all the windows. I got an old ass house, and our insulation and our air conditioning setup is just, it's bogus. It's no good. And so you know, it's expensive to run the air conditioner, so we try not to. I got all these stupid things I try to do, like open the windows in the morning. I have like 17 fans. My kids are making fun of me. They're like, you're turning into grandpa with all your fans. My dad has like a fan fascination, and he also loves flashlights. He's always buying like, look at this 7-pack of flashlights I got. Look at this super chub pack of fans I got at the Costco. Multiple sizes and variations, just like the flashlight pack. And so, I got all these fans going. I'm like, put this fan here, put that fan here. We're gonna blow the air in here, and it's gonna circulate, and it kind of works. But anyway, so I go to bed on Saturday night, and you know, it's like 3:30 in the morning, and my window's open, and my bedroom is right on the street. Like, it's on the street. I could hear everything. And the way our street is it's kind of curved. So it doesn't go just like, it's just not a straight linear street. The street kind of like has an angle and it curves a little bit. And right where I live, there's another street perpendicular that goes right, like dead ends basically into my block. So think of it as like a T, right? If you're going down Argonaut is the street, boom. You hit the street I live on, and you would go right into my driveway if you didn't turn left or right. All right, but left or right, you can outlet to the major roads, right? So in the left or right, when you turn onto my street has this like weird meandering curve, and it goes down, and there's like a gas station a couple blocks down. Well, the way my street is curved is like sound echoes up the street. So if people go into the gas station at like midnight or 2 in the morning when it's mostly quiet, I can hear people talk. I could actually hear their conversations. I could hear chatter. I could hear people arguing, and I could hear it, okay? Well, the point I'm trying to make is I could hear really well at night. So this dude this is like this. I don't know if he's smart or if he's stupid. He used a drill. So he had a drill. And at 3:30 in the morning, Estelle and I are both woken up to this sound. And that noise was fresh in my head because I recently built a kicker ramp for my son, a skateboard ramp, right? And a kicker is, you know, something that's not incredibly hard to build, but I'm not a builder. But as part of my quarantine lifestyle, I decided I was going to take on some new projects, and so I wanted to learn how to do some building. So, you know, I built my son this kicker ramp, and in the process of building the kicker ramp, I got really tuned in to the sound of that brrr, brrr, with the driver, which is not a drill, but, you know, I'm driving screws in, and you can kind of hear that brrr, that weird sound when it catches and it's too tight and there's some give, there's some tension. And so it reminds me of a fishing pole when you got to adjust the tension on it, you know. And so anyway, we heard brrr, and my wife was like, what was that? And I kind of sat up. And I wear glasses, and I can't see very well without them at all. And I jumped out of bed, and I was like, I opened the blinds up. I separated them with my fingers, and I was like peeking out, and I was squinting because I didn't have my glasses on. And it was just dark outside mostly, you know. Like the Prius was right in front of my window, like right there. It's like probably, I would say it's probably 20 feet from my window about maybe 25, but it's pretty close to me, not that far. And I was kind of looking and looking, and there was like a little car that was on the street, and it had its lights off. And I didn't even really realize that the car was there. It was kind of dark, and I was like trying to figure out what was going on. But underneath the Prius, I could see a little light, and it was artificial. I knew it was artificial. I was just like kind of peeping. It seemed like it took 5 minutes. This is like a 5-second transaction, right? It looked like a Christmas light, like a single bulb on a Christmas light that was underneath the car, and it was illuminated. And I thought, man, that looks artificial to me. Like, did someone break into my car maybe, or something's going on? And I just got this moped running as another project for Nate and Noah, just so they could screw around on the moped, a little kinetic moped that we've had for a long time in the family. And so I was working on the moped, and the moped's it's a little 2-stroke, and so it's got like a kind of sound to it. And I thought, oh shit, somebody slipped into the yard and like somehow got in and is taking the moped out. And I was kind of like, how did they get the moped out? You know, it's a moped. I thought that's what that sound was. There's all these thoughts that have, you know, conglomerated in my head in a 5-second time span. And so I'm looking into the car, and I'm like, I don't know. And then I'm like, wait a minute, somebody's out there. And so I said in my manliest voice I could muster up, I said, "Hey, motherfucker!" And as soon as I said that, the car went boom and took off. And I was like, oh shit, somebody is, like, for real, somebody's out there. They left their dude who was trying to steal the Prius's tire, driver's side tire. Okay, nobody fucks with the Prius, all right? I'm tired of you guys. Nobody fucks with the Prius. All right, I draw the line at the Prius, okay? And the car drives off, boom, and I see this dude's head pop up. He was like squatting down behind the car, so I couldn't see him. He was on the other side of the car, on the street side, right? And his little head popped up, and I was like, "You better run, motherfucker!" And then he go, boom, 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 boom. He booked, man. And I ran out into the front, and I'm like, shit, dude, I'm barefooted, like with shorts on and no shirt, looking like I'm 210 pounds right now, by the way. Like, I'm pretty beefy. I'm swinging that 80-pound kettlebell pretty well. Like, I swung it for 100 swings yesterday. I felt really good. Really good, to be honest with you. I'm feeling strong. And I'm pretty, I've gone from looking like maybe I could be Mexican to looking like maybe I'm Yugoslavian now. Or maybe I'm like some kind of Eastern, like I'm kind of getting like feeling like little Andrei Arlovsky-ish. And so I jam out there, dudes down the street. This motherfucker had my car up on a jack already. It was already jacked up. The tire was elevated off the ground. And he was going to work. He was going to take that Prius tire, which I don't know why. The fucking Prius tire? Like, for real, dude? I think the anti-theft lug nut got him. I think that's what it was. I think that caused his drill to go brrr, made a loud-ass noise. And so he bounced. So I got his flashlight. It was a little, tiny little, like, pencil-style flashlight. That was the light under the car. Good thinking. And I got his tools that he left behind. He left, like, some big, long, weird mechanics wrench of some kind. It looks like an auto part or an automobile style tool. And then he left another wrench, and I got his jack, which was dope. And I got one glove, fucking Michael Jackson, fucking guy trying to pull a Michael Jackson on my ass. I got one glove, light his hair on fire, motherfucker. And, he got out, but I protected the tire. So now I'm on full alert. I'm not playing around. The cars are in the driveway. The Prius is strategically parked, and the windows are strategically set up to where now if I'm laying in bed, all I got to do is open up my right eye and tilt my head a little bit to the right, and I could see right out of the crack of my window right at the Prius. And I got my camera. I have cameras. Unfortunately, I had kicked the wall outlet where the camera was plugged in. It's an outdoor camera, but there's a feed that comes into the room to plug it in for power. And I kicked it out of the wall. And so I didn't get any of it on camera. My neighbor's Ring camera got it, though, got some of it. So I saw the car. I saw some of it, which is it's crazy to think now that you would even try to steal something from somebody in front of their house because there's so many cameras. Like, there's so many cameras, man. Everybody's got a camera. They are literally everywhere. And so, yeah, that was a tricky thing. But I was like, dude, this guy's trying to steal my fucking tire. What do you do with the Prius? The tire's old. The tire's like over a year old. The hubcaps are shit. Like, there's nothing nice on that car. Yeah, desperate times, man. So we tried to gank that. Luckily, we busted him. And this is the second time I went nuts on somebody in the middle of the night being out in my front yard. 3 times, though, actually. The time before that, I didn't go nuts. I opened up my blinds to go nuts because I saw like some lights flashing and shit. And when I opened up my blinds, there was a guy standing halfway on my grass facing the street with his hands up, and there were cops on the street with their guns pointed at him. And I was standing in the window behind all this. Like, if they actually opened fire, I would be the recipient of anything that didn't hit the target. And I was just standing there like, wrong spot, dummy. But the time, long time ago, same room, same setup, same thing, middle of the night, woke up. Somebody had pulled like 3/4 into my driveway, and their headlights had like flashed into my room, and they stayed on. So this person was like 3/4 in my driveway. And I popped up out of bed, and I don't know what my problem is. I should grab my glasses first. I never do. I always raise the blinds and just start yelling, "Hey, motherfucker!" Same thing. And I startled Stella. She woke up and started yelling, "Hey!" She didn't even know what we were yelling about. We were just both yelling out the window at this person. And the dude jumped in his car. He's like, "Oh, shit." Jumped in his car, and he's like, "Rrr." I could hear his car just squeeching, like grinding up the street. He goes like a block up the street, pulls back off. There's another street light under the street. There's a street light on the left of my driveway, which is why he stopped there, because he had a flat tire. And I proceeded to watch this poor sap change his tire after I yelled at him. There's always some kind of tire issue, huh? Like either someone changing a tire or trying to steal my tire. Nobody steals a tire from the Prius. It's just not going to happen. So, yeah, that was awesome. But I felt good about foiling the attempt. My cars have been broken into so many times. Like there's these dudes, they come through. But man, it's probably 3 times a week, and they just check the door handles. They just flip every door handle on the car to see if you forgot. If you forget, if you're not on your game, and you leave your car unlocked one night, man, you'll come out to like all your doors will be open, the trunk is open, whatever's valuable's gone, And then if some vulture comes through and sees it open later, he'll pick through it too. It's insane, but that's the world we're living in. That's Stocktown. I felt really good about building that skate ramp, man. I don't know anything about building, but YouTube is pretty impressive. Thankfully, they haven't pulled everything off of YouTube. I was able to learn how to use a skill saw. I didn't know how to use a skill saw. I have a skill saw. So my wife's cousin used to live with us years ago, and she used to help kind of watch the kids when they were really young. And she had like this boyfriend dude. It's like the only boyfriend dude that I remember her having. And he was kind of a weird, like chubby construction, like ranchero Mexican style guy, like he was like not a contractor, but he was like an illegal contractor. You know what I'm saying? Like there's guys that essentially have the knowledge to do a lot of things construction wise, but they're not exactly a contractor. He's kind of like that. Kind of was running his own game, doing all right, I guess. And so he was dating my wife's cousin, and he had stored some tools over at her house for I don't know why, who knows. And anyway, he ended up borrowing money from my wife's cousin, like $3,000, and then skipped down to Mexico and never came back. Never gave her the money back. But he left his skill saw here. And this is like 10 years ago, 15 years ago. So I popped that skill saw out. It had a good blade on it still, but I really didn't know how to use it. I had to oil it up because the way you adjust the angle and the depth of the skill saw, those slots were completely like super tight. They were stuck, so I had to shoot some WD-40 in there. I had to watch some videos like how to use a skill saw. This is how you adjust it. This is what you're trying to do. And I just watched it a few times and kind of practiced, and then like, okay, I think I could do it. And I started making cuts, and the ramp came out really good. Like, I was really shocked that the ramp came out so damn well. So I was able to build him a nice kicker ramp that he's been able to use and have fun with. So I was really proud of that. I was shocked. I was actually shocked when I was building it and it was coming together. I'm like, I can't believe I'm doing it. It's like when you're winning your first tournament match, you're up on points. It's like, I can't believe I'm up on 6 points and there's only 40 seconds left. I'm going to win this match. So it's kind of like that feeling, right? So I was pretty stoked to get that going. But, through all this, I've been trying real hard to stay positive. I've been trying real hard to make improvements and stay on it and encourage my friends and encourage people that are, kind of in it. But, I got to be honest, man, like it's getting old. It's getting old and it's not easy. Like I have a lot of trouble staying positive, and I have a lot of trouble not being destructive with my thoughts and my habits. And I'm just being open with people. Like, I feel like for my own well-being, like I need to get back to training. Like I really do. I'm not super into the person that I am without jiu-jitsu right now. And now maybe there's going to be a time in my life where I can mellow out a little bit more and not feel like I need it as much. But I really need it, man. It's been 45, 50 days or whatever it is. And it's time for me to go back. Like I need to get some of that therapy. It's not about greed. It's not about personal freedom. Some of it is about personal freedom, to be honest with you. Ethically and morally, I feel like we have the right to also represent freedom and fight against totalitarianism, because totalitarianism is way worse than COVID. All right? Just put that in your back pocket, all right? So I feel a need for that, but on a very, very personal level, like I have serious anxiety, and I've dealt with it for a long time. And I don't think that makes me courageous or a hero either. And I don't think it's something that people like I need to broadcast and talk about. But jiu-jitsu really, really helps me with it, and I need it. Like, I'm at a point where like I need to get back to that thing that was helping me so much, to be honest. Like, I'm kind of over all this quarantine stuff, and if there was a more pressing reason for it, then maybe I would feel differently, but I just don't feel that way right now. And that doesn't mean I want to endanger you, but it means that I'm willing to take a chance for me. And if it was the other way around, I would support you in it. I would. I don't care. I'm all for personal freedom. Do what you're going to do. Like, whatever. This is, we're on a rock floating through outer space. Like, your rules and your authority and all that, it's very temporal and very limited. Like, let's be honest. But anyway, it's glad to be back, man. I'm glad we got Tanner Rice on. I'm sure not everyone's going to agree with his opinion, but I don't have people on the program who I think everyone's going to agree with. I have people on the program who I think have a unique voice. Look, if you're just a voice in a chorus of voices, big deal. What are you going to say that nobody's already heard? I want people with perspective. I want people with an authentic viewpoint. I want people with conviction. All right? Talk with conviction. If you have conviction backing up the way you feel and what you do, then I honor that and I'll listen to that. But if you don't have conviction, you just have cantankerousness, you have like ego, narcissism is on huge display now. I think we see that everywhere. Then I don't care what you're going to say. You're going to say something stupid that I've already heard before. I want to talk to people that have a viewpoint. And I really appreciate Tanner coming on. And I really appreciate what he's doing. I think that we need people like this. And history looks back at people like this. And it's not always bad. In fact, some of your heroes may be people that were vilified and hated in their time or disagreed with in their time. Did you know that? I'm sure you did. I'm sure you did. So, thank you for listening. This has been a special episode. There it is, of the Inside BJJ podcast. All right, you guys, Please give us a rating, a review. Hit us up. Inside BJJ on Instagram. Keep the faith. Keep training. Take care of yourselves. Be safe.